Some visions you leave behind, and others decide to stay with you. That night, the road wasn't just a path. It was a warning, and I didn't listen in time. My name is Raphael. Trucker. 20 states. Hundreds of trips. But only one never ended. Route 47 showed up where it shouldn't. And what I saw there, in that forgotten curve, still follows me. If you've lived something similar, leave it in the comments. Your story might be the next one told here. It started on a curve that shouldn't exist on the map. The pavement cracked beneath my wheels. I've been a trucker for over 10 years, and I've seen things I'd rather never talk about. But that haunted road seemed like it had been erased from the world. Or hidden. No signs. No exits. Just dense woods, frozen air, and power poles without power. The radio glitched into a low hiss. What scared me most, it whispered my name. The steering grew heavier, as if the truck itself didn't want to move forward. I saw 3 lights in the sky. Still. Motionless. Not blinking. Not coming from anywhere. I stopped. And for a moment, I knew without doubt that something was watching me. The air froze. The cabin went mute. And in that void, the silence screamed. No one told me to enter. But somehow, I knew something, or someone wanted me to. I shifted into gear and crept forward. The lights were still there, like frozen eyes. The road began repeating. Same cracked pavement. Same fallen tree. Same pole. I counted the turns. 7, 8, 9, and then the first one again. The speedometer flickered, like time was breaking inside the dashboard. The cabin light blinked in a rhythm that made me sick to my stomach. I smelled something burning, but the engine was cold. No smoke. No alerts. With each lap, the lights in the sky drew closer. I heard a metallic hum. Dizzy, I pulled over. I swear, someone crossed the road. Faceless. Calm. But when I stepped out to look, nothing. No prints. No disturbed dust. The road had me now. And something told me this was just the beginning. I woke up slumped over the wheel, with no memory of falling asleep. The sky was grayish, like the sun had given up trying to rise. In the rearview mirror, a mark on the road, like something massive had been dragged. The trail came from the woods and passed directly beneath my parked truck. I shut the window. Started the engine. Now the road looked clean, untouched. But the feeling was worse. Like something followed me from below the asphalt. The radio played a strange tape. Someone breathing heavily. It sounded like me. The road ahead was endless and straight. Yet the GPS showed I was going in circles. I saw the lights in the sky again. Now they blinked slowly, like they were tired. Or maybe, like they were testing me. Predators playing with their prey. I passed an abandoned station. Windows shattered, but everything looked recent. I pulled over without knowing why. Something inside told me to. I walked into the bathroom. The mirror was spotless, like it had just been placed. I looked at myself. For a second, the reflection didn't follow. It blinked. I didn't. I ran out, but felt a presence climb into the cabin with me. I checked the mirror. Empty. But the air smelled like damp metal and dust. The lights in the sky began spinning. Slowly. like satellites orbiting my fear. At every turn, the trees seemed closer, closing in on the road. The radio turned on. It wasn't my voice, but it was trying to be. Someone, or something that had been on this road long before me. The phone vibrated on the dashboard, but it was off. Still, someone spoke through it. "You're seeing what they tried to hide." It was my voice. But I never said that. I tried to power it down. Nothing worked. The phone refused any command. I threw it on the seat. Now the radio and phone spoke at once, same voice, same breath. Perfectly synced. The same rhythm. It made my skin crawl. Ahead, the lights in the sky multiplied. 5. Then 7. I felt eyes on me. Not one. Many. Like a hive, watching, waiting. The road felt weightless. The truck glided like it wasn't touching the ground. I thought of braking, jumping, running, but my legs were numb. The haunted road wasn't a place. It was a machine. And I was now one of its parts. A figure stood ahead. I stopped. A man in a cap, smiling too wide, waved at me. I opened the door slowly. "Lost?" he asked, but his lips didn't move. The voice floated. "You shouldn't have taken that split," he said. He knew. But how? No one knew that. I tried to reply, but my mouth wouldn't move. Like the road froze my body. He touched the truck. Wherever he touched, the metal rusted instantly. "Some return," he said. "But never the same. Never whole." Then, he vanished. I climbed back inside, chest tight. The lights spiraled above now, hypnotic. The forest was gone. Replaced by a metallic field, lifeless and endless. The road had ended. But I kept driving. Something made me continue. Ahead, a door appeared in the middle of nowhere. Waiting for me. I stepped through with eyes closed. The truck vanished behind me without a sound. It was a new road, twisted, suspended midair, lights blinking beneath my feet. The sky was black. Not dark. Pure black. No stars. No distance. Just void. My watch was stuck. No today. No yesterday. Time had been turned off. Sounds echoed from afar. Whispers in languages I didn't know, but still understood. Other trucks floated nearby, identical, ghostly, silent. None honked. None stopped. They just drifted, endlessly. I thought I was dead. But death would have made more sense than this. Something followed me. Always the same distance. Always closer. And for the first time, I wished I'd never looked at the lights. I woke on some random shoulder. But one thing was impossible to ignore. On my arm, a perfect circle. Red. Warm. It burned just beneath the skin. I looked around. The road seemed normal. Signs. Cars. Even human voices. But it was too quiet. Like a recorded loop. People passed by smiling, in sync. No one blinked off rhythm. I entered a diner. The clerk said, "You saw the lights, didn't you?" before I spoke. Those who see don't forget. And those who forget weren't meant to return. I looked at my arm. The mark pulsed, slowly, like an eye-opening. I couldn't tell what was still mine, and what had been put inside me. The haunted road wasn't a memory. It was a virus. And I was its host. Back in the truck. But the cabin felt different. Something was in the back seat. I looked. Nothing. I looked again. It was me. No eyes. No expression. Still. I screamed. The figure vanished. But in the mirror, it remained, watching. The lights in the sky reappeared. But now, they were inside the cabin. The air thickened. Like breathing metal dust soaked in glass. Voices echoed in my head. One was mine. The other, also mine. I looked at my hands. They looked right. But they didn't feel like mine. I gripped the wheel. I won't let you, I whispered. You won't replace me. The road split in two. One looked real. The other pulsed like living flesh. One part of me had already chosen. The other just pretended to resist. The radio turned on by itself. Now it played a message. My voice. A story I never recorded. If you're hearing this, maybe there's still time. Or maybe it's already too late. In the mirror, no reflection. Not mine. Not the truck's. Just endless road. The lights sank slowly from the sky. No rush. Like they already knew the ending. My mind splintered. Memories twisted. Voices overlapped. Identities blurred. I looked at the passenger seat. A folder sat there, my name on every page. But every photo looked different. All the versions had the same mark on their arms. The wheel turned on its own. The road chose for me. The last thing I heard was my own voice whispering. It wasn't what I saw on that road. It's what followed me home. The road led me to a white tunnel. No doors. No end. But something pulled me in deeper. The light was too strong to see, yet it didn't illuminate. It burned from the inside out. The truck stopped on its own. I stepped out. I moved, but my legs didn't touch the ground. The walls whispered names. Many were mine. Versions that had never existed before. Inside, a room floated with windows. Each showed memories I never lived. My childhood, but someone else's voice. Someone else's mother. Someone else's face. This is what remains when the road chooses what you're allowed to remember, it said. I turned back. The entrance was gone. All that remained were corridors and reflections. The lights in the sky were inside the room now, like floating eyes analyzing my soul. It wasn't a vision. It was an extraction. They were editing who I had been. I returned to the truck, but something sat in my seat. Rigid. Faceless. Colorless. I reached for it, but it was fused to the fabric, alive, breathing, part of the truck. The key was turned. Engine humming. But the wheel didn't move with my hands. I was shoved into the passenger seat. The truck was no longer mine. The road appeared again, now green-gray, like rotting flesh paved over steel. Ahead were other trucks, identical. Same model. Same dents. Same smell of fear. Each driven by copies. Still drivers with no eyes, yet they recognized me. The one in my seat turned. My face, but blank. He smiled. The wrong smile. I knew then, I was just a passenger in my own replacement. Not dying. Just slowly being erased by something smarter than me. The radio came back. This time, clear, It repeated data, ID numbers, dates, locations. They were cataloging me, logging every route, decision, reaction, hesitation. More voices echoed. All of them sounded like me, telling nearly the same story. It was a control center, monitoring truckers lost in time and space. Each voice mentioned lights in the sky, haunted roads, something watching, silence screaming. They weren't killing us. They were replacing us, perfecting the mold with each cycle. I looked at my hand. No lines. No prints. Just smooth, fake skin. I was already a replica. I opened the dashboard. Behind it, a compartment pulsing like an organic organ. Inside was a recording, version 12.3, partial failure. Prepare reabsorption. I had a new name now, Attempt. And my time was running out. I tried turning off the road. Tried swerving. Exiting. But it curved back into itself. GPS said I was in the same spot, even after hours. Route active 00.00.47. The engine sounded less like machinery, more like breathing. I thought of crashing into something, but there were no signs, no exits, no edge. The sky didn't move, but the time did, looping, accelerating, rewinding. The cabin smelled like metal and ozone. A scent too artificial to be earthly. Out the window, I saw other versions of me walking beside the truck, trying to get in. I locked the door. Their hands tapped the glass in perfect rhythm. They wanted what was left. I screamed, but the road delayed my voice, like it edited sound before it left me. This haunted road wasn't leading anywhere. It was collapsing everything I'd ever been. I crossed a metal arch, and suddenly the road became a city. But everything reflected. People walked in silence, smiling. Each one was me. At different ages. I entered a cafe. Behind the counter, I served myself. Now you understand, I said. Each choice you made created a version. Each version, a target. But only one gets to continue. The rest are watched, then erased. On the walls, photos of me with future dates. Each marked pending termination. This place only exists while you question who you are, he whispered. I ran. Streets twisted. Buildings melted. My faces followed like shadows. At the end of the road, the highway returned, now covered in black mist. Behind me, the city collapsed. No noise. No warning. Only me, or what was left. The fog swallowed everything. I drove by instinct, until a structure rose from the ground. It looked like a giant metallic heart, pulsing, cables stretching into the sky. Lights from above docked into it. Each pulse made the road tremble. I got out. Placed my hand on it. Everything froze. I saw thousands of images. Versions of me, in houses, in hospitals, trapped in eternal loops. It was a server. A core database storing realities based on my mind. You're a corrupted node, said a voice. But you may still be useful. I stepped back. The machine throbbed louder. I tried to run. The road pulled me in. You've seen too much, it said. Now you belong to the system. I wasn't abducted. I had been integrated. I woke in motion. The cabin intact. Silent. But something new glowed inside my chest. A dim, circular light, like a small sun implanted under my skin. It didn't hurt, but it burned in my thoughts, like a memory I was never meant to have. Every idea came with images that weren't mine, but lived in my head. I tried to brake. The truck refused. It had a mind now. The dashboard had new buttons, new words, in languages I somehow read. The road returned. The original one. But it accepted me now. I was one with it. Lights in the sky. They were no longer signs. They were commands. The silence screamed. But it didn't scare me anymore. What once followed me now leads whoever comes next. It felt like a dream. But the radio played my voice, telling everything. If you're hearing this, leave the road. Don't stop. Don't look up. Don't overthink. It was a warning. One last chance for someone to break the cycle. In the mirror, I saw another trucker. Young. Wide-eyed. I had been him once. I tried to shout. The road swallowed my voice whole. The lights spun. Reality folded like wet paper. My body hurt inside, but outside. I smiled. The road used me now to lure the next. As bait. As a mirror. The broadcast continued. But the ending was new. If you heard this, maybe you still have a choice. But hurry. Before she chooses you. I watched the boy's truck vanish around the curve, the same one where mine began. He waved. I didn't wave back. It wasn't me anymore. Just what remained. I looked up. The lights were inside me now. And the sky was empty. The haunted road stayed alive. And I became one of its shortcuts. I didn't remember my name anymore. Just faces. Many. All mine. The mark on my arm faded. It wasn't needed now. I belonged to her. The radio went silent. Time froze. And I simply waited. What follows me doesn't want to catch me. It wants to use me. And here comes the next. I see the headlights in the distance. He still has a name. Still has fear. But the road will erase them both. If you've heard my story this far, maybe you felt something similar. A road that isn't on the map. A silence that screams. A presence you never see. A curve that leads nowhere, but won't let you leave. Lights in the sky that don't shine, they scan. That set of iron in the air. The radio turning on by itself. Your voice not your own. You think it was a dream. But dreams don't leave marks on your body. You ignore it. Until your memories start changing. So tell me, if you saw the lights, would you follow? Because if you would, maybe your story is the next one told here.